So a super common question that I see in all sorts of companies, whether you're startup, you're software, or bootstrapped, or you have funding or whatever, is this question of SEO versus SEM. And that's what we're going to talk about today. If you're new here, I'm Brendan Hufford. I've started and sold a few online businesses. I'm the creator of SEO for the rest of us, and I'm also the director of SEO. I lead the SEO team at Directive, where we do search marketing for, just huge enterprise brands that are amazing, like Allstate, Betterment, Samsung, and kind of companies like that. What I want to share with you today is a short clip of an interview I did with Bill King. My buddy Bill over at Drift runs SEO and organic search. And instead of just giving you a hot take of like, hey, you should do paid, you should do organic, like there's no all-encompassing answer. So what he's going to give you here is a super smart framework of thinking through this whole idea of what to prioritize. How do I decide what to do first? If I'm in charge of both SEO and PPC, which is under the umbrella of SEM is search engine marketing. It's both pieces, paid and organic. He's going to walk you through the framework of how he decides and how he prioritizes, especially in a culture like Drift where they move fast and the stakes are high. So let's check that out.
If there was like somebody who's watching this or listening to this and they were a new startup or something, what would you recommend them, like, based on your experience, prioritizing first? Like if they're like, look, we don't know whether to prioritize SEO or pay-per-click, we can only really pursue one right now. Or is the answer both? Like, what do you think about that?
That's actually really interesting, because I think that there is only so much time. And I think you have to be just super real with yourself. Like if I had a full week, let's just say you work a 60-hour week, and the amount of time that you spend, we try to push as many meetings out of our calendars as humanly possible, just because of the culture of moving quickly. You need to just have a real conversation with yourself and think about like the amount of time and effort it takes to actually do things that have impact. Also, you need to be real about what scales and what doesn't, right? So there are like traps in your day that you have to try to avoid, or tactics you might have to do, but you want to try to avoid those types of things. I would say, like, number one, you need to understand where is the business at and how are you goaled against that, right? So if you walk into a place and that's moving as quickly as we are, let's take that as an example, and you're like, hey, I'm an SEO expert, even though I'm responsible for, SEO and paid, and I'm going to go ahead and start building a bunch of stuff for SEO. And that might be the net long-term greatest ROI, but you need to have context for like what your expectations are and how you can add value, right? So when you're creating this backlog and scoring and prioritizing, you need to have some kind of like override, right? So I actually usually have I use the PI framework, which is similar to the ICE framework. So PI stands for potential, importance, ease. Those are my 3 0 to 10 scores, and I average those out. But I also have like an ability to like tag things that are just time-based that are very important to the company, right? So I think just like you have to really, really dig into these things and like how much actual time is it going to take, how much actual impact. There's no like, I think this is probably the most discussed thing in like the growth world. I don't think there's a perfect answer. I don't think I have it perfect yet. And then there's still plenty of things I wish I could do, or things that I maybe shouldn't be working on. But that's the process, getting better every day and, trying to make sure that you have the engine running. So.
Yeah, I think that's also really a more helpful answer than you just being like, oh, it's paid. The answer's paid. Just do paid first. Like that's super helpful. Like having a framework. Cause I think that's what most of people would want to do. They just want to give the hot take, and it's like, no. Like here's how to actually think about it.
I guess going back to the poker analogy, you need to spread your bets out, right? If you go all in on 1 or 2 or 3 things and one of them fails, you're in deep trouble, right? So I would think about it like a portfolio. I have these long shots, long, hairy, hard things to do. And then I've got these short bets that I can easily, quickly bang out that will help me get to my goals. So I try to have a balanced portfolio, and I think that's actually the better way to describe it than just a backlog with prioritization, right?
So there you have it. Again, that's just a short clip of my full interview with Bill. If you want to check out the rest of the interview, there are links in the description below, both to the rest of my interview with Bill, all the other parts. There's about 10 to 13 videos, and then also a playlist just for breaking out SEO, PPC, SEM, and things like that. here's my core takeaways. First, make sure you go through, like, figure out what's going to take the most time and effort to get things done. Make sure you've ironed out the traps in your day that are time sinks. And then once you've got those figured out, there's 3 things to consider. First, where's the business at right now, and how are you goaled against that? You know, how are you responsible for moving the business forward, and do you even know where it's at right now? Second, use one of the 2 frameworks that Bill mentioned: PI, potential, importance, ease. Rank everything you want to do based on those. Or you can use the ICE framework, which is what we use at Directive, which is impact, confidence, and ease. Either of those frameworks will work. You just have to make sure you're using one of them. And then third, I love the poker analogy. We didn't talk about it in this clip, but Bill is just an absolutely amazing poker player. Spread out your bets. Make sure you're not putting all of your eggs into one basket, so to speak. So let me know in the comments below, what's working for you right now? What are you finding success with in PPC, in SEO? If you want to learn more from Bill and from me, make sure you check out our playlists again. There's playlists with the rest of my interviews with Bill. Also, more playlists around SEO, PPC, and SEM in the description below. But if you're super passionate about SEO like I am, make sure you check out SEO for the rest of us. Join my free newsletter, brendanhufford.com/newsletter. Link is in the description with all the other links. So many calls to action, Brendan. I don't know. I just want you to get more out of this video. If you're like, hey, I want to learn more and I want to learn more from you, Brendan, subscribe to the channel, check it out, check out the other playlists. And I would just love to have you as a member of the SEO for the rest of us community. If you feel like SEO is overwhelming and confusing and you feel like most of the blogs aren't giving you the straight truth, SEO for the rest of us is for you. And then finally, make sure you check out, if you are, again, passionate about SEO and you make videos like me or podcasts like me, and you want to turn that content into content on your blog and on your website, written content that's going to get traffic from Google organically, make sure you check out podreacher.com. They're my partner. That's who makes all the blog posts for 100daysofseo.com. Jackie and her team at podreacher.com. Highly recommend them if you want to turn video and audio content into organic search content. So check out those videos in the description below, and I'll see you in the next episode of 100 Days of SEO.